Hi there. I've been having a few new beginner students these last few weeks, and I thought I would create this video as a way of sort of having something at home that you can look at and that can remind you of some good practice habits when you're first starting out. Bob Cole, by the way, here with Bob Cole Music Studio and Lessons. So there's three things that I think are really important when you're first starting out. You probably already have figured out sort of some of the basic chords and sort of, all the really basic things. All that stuff's online on the internet. You don't need me to help you with that kind of stuff. But what you do maybe need is a little help with some basic strumming and perhaps how to move those chords more easily, and then how to make those chords sound really interesting and nice. So here's a few things. The first thing is strumming, right? And the most important thing when you're strumming is to just keep this right hand going. This is your metronome. It's gotta keep moving, all right? And I'm just gonna tilt the angle of the camera down just a hair so that you can see it a little more easily. My apologies for blocking out the camera temporarily. All right, so again, you're gonna keep this hand moving. I'm gonna just play an E minor, very basic open chord. Stick with your open chords to start when you're doing any of these exercises. So you're gonna keep this hand moving. Just on a very basic sort of strum, you could just go down, down, down. You can change that to down, up, down, up, down, up. Just keep that hand moving. Stick with one chord just to get the feel of it, and start to think about counting it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then just kind of alternate down, down, up. We think of this as down, miss, down, up, down, miss, down, up. See how my arm never stops? Just keeping the rhythm going. If you've already nailed down some of those really basic strums, the really most important strum you can do is down, miss, down, up, miss, up, down, up. It sounds like this. Down, miss, down, up, miss, up, down, up, down, miss, down, up, miss, up, down, up. See how my hand never stops moving? Down, miss, down, up, miss, up, down, up, down, miss, down, up, miss, up, down, up. I'm going to slow it down a little bit so you can really see it. So it's down, miss, down, up, miss, up, down, up, down, miss, down, up, miss, up, down, up. If you can get that strum pattern down, you can play thousands of songs. And with your G, E minor, C, and D chords, thousands of chords. There's thousands of songs. So that's the first thing, is getting that strumming down. It's really tricky at the beginning. Probably takes, for someone who's really working at it, maybe 5-6 weeks of really practicing and really nailing it down, thinking about music rhythmically. The next thing you want to do is change those chords within that strum pattern, right? So let's say going from an E minor to a G, for instance, right? So I've got my strum pattern, my down, miss, down, up, miss, up, down, up, and now I'm changing the chord on the beat, on the one. Trick that beginners don't really realize the guitarists are doing. You're never changing within that instant of that eighth note going from the end of the bar to the beginning of the bar, from the end of the 4 to the beginning of the next bar on the 1. Instead, what we do is we play this little kind of just nothing, just no hand on the fretboard on that upstroke of that last bar, and that gives you the time to switch that chord. In context, when you're listening to a song, you'd never hear that, just that bit. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to go from E minor to G, and I'm going to take my hand off the fretboard right at the end of the bar. See that? It gives my hands time to change. As long as I keep the rhythm going, see how my right hand never stops? I'm going to really over-exaggerate. I'm going to play a few beats at the end with the open. Right? I wouldn't encourage you to play it for that long, but So 2 things to focus on there. Never stop this right hand from moving, and allow your left hand the space. Take it right off the fretboard and then put it back on rhythmically, right? So that both things are doing things rhythmically. Both hands are doing things rhythmically. The rhythm at the end of the day is more important than anything else. It's going to make you sound like you know what you're doing. So yeah, try and nail down that rhythm, and allow that space in time for your hands to switch chords. This works for all the chords, by the way. If you're really listening for it, you'll hear it. So just leaving that space at the end of the bar, at the end of your strum pattern, to switch that chord. All right, and that's just playing, just open. The last thing that you're going to want to try to make these chords sound really interesting is sort of like a little flat picking exercise, arpeggios essentially, or arpeggiating the chord. D is probably a good way to start here because you're starting on those bottom 4 strings. And an alternating picking pattern is really a nice thing to be able to do to get good at sort of alternating your down, up, picking pattern. So you're going to go 4th string, 2nd string, 3rd string, 1st string. All right, and it's a down, down, up, down. Now you can do this with other chords too. You can do this with C. G. And I was actually playing a C add 9, I should mention that. C add 9 being a chord that really gets used a lot with these D, C, G patterns, and you throw in the E minor 7 as well, and I'm playing some Pearl Jam here, or I'm playing Green Day. So learning to do those 3 things to nail down that down, miss, up, down, up strum pattern. Leaving space between your chords for your left hand to change, right? And then learning to do some just basic arpeggiation can really kind of take you from that beginner stage where you really feel uncomfortable, you really don't know if you're making things sing, to really sounding like, oh wow, I know what I'm doing here. This is, your family might be saying, wow, when did you learn to play guitar? So yeah, those are the 3 things that I've been really sort of hammering to my new students, my beginner students this week, and hopefully, I'm hoping they're going to come back and say, hey, I sound like a guitar player, and hopefully you can too. If you want to come see me and learn a bit more about how to take your playing to the next level, definitely hit me up, bobcoolmusic.com, and we'll get you started.